Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back. Today, I'm going to be tasting something that I grew in my garden. Every year when I plan my garden, I don't do too much planning, but when I start looking at seed catalogs at the tail end of winter, I always like to pick out something that I've never grown before. And last year it was bottle gourds, and I made my own water bottle. And this year I want to grow something called the toothache plant. So this plant goes by many other names, including buzz button, electric daisies, jambu, Sichuan button, and it has a very interesting characteristic where it creates a numbing effect in your mouth. It's supposed to have some flavor of its own as well, but mostly it is enjoyed because of this kind of numbing quality. In South American traditional medicine, it was used to numb the mouth for any kind of toothache or gum pain, and more recently it's been used by chefs and mixologists to create an unusual experience for diners. So I wanted to try this and I grew it myself. I bought these seeds right here for toothache plant bullseye. This is from Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds, and I started these seeds in my basement and I transplanted them into the garden, and they finally have fruited. Here are the flowers. This is what they look like. Aren't they interesting? Here they are. This is a buzz button or an electric daisy. Now they're called daisies because they're in the Asteraceae family, which is the sunflower daisy family. The scientific name is Acamella oleracea, and I cannot wait to taste these because I am going to do a little bit of an experiment. First, I'm going to taste them, and then I'm going to taste a few items to see how my taste buds are affected, not only physically in terms of like what the physical sensation is, but taste-wise. Will it change what I taste? Now, I love doing these kinds of taste tests. I have done several at this point. I did the miracle berry. I'll put a link down below to that. I also did a taste test with my brother when we had some tea, and it removed any sensation of sweetness, and we did a little contest to see if we could figure out what we were tasting. Super, super fun. And I'm going to be tasting the toothache plant that I grew myself. Super, super excited. Here's an example of a flower. The variety I got is called the bullseye, so it has this kind of red center to it, but they also come in a bright yellow form where everything is yellow. There's no bullseye at all. Now if you look carefully, you'll notice that this is a compound flower. So it is composed of tiny little flowers in here. Each one of those little yellow bits is a flower, as all asters are. So if you look at a daisy real up close in the middle, or a sunflower, you'll see that the center is composed of tiny little flowers. I grew giant sunflowers and I ate a whole head last summer, which was very, very interesting. I'll put a link down below to that video as well, where I talked a little bit more about compound flowers. Alrighty, so the leaves are also edible of the toothache plant. They add some flavor to salads, but the part that I am most interested in is the actual flower bud itself. So here it is, and I'm going to remove the bottom part. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and give the buzz button a taste. Alrighty, here we go. Itadakimasu. So it has kind of a citrusy flavor to it. As you're chewing it, wow. Oh my gosh. It has kind of a vegetal crunch to it, and immediately it starts to numb your whole tongue, and it really does make your tongue feel like it's buzzing. It's like it's electric. And now it's causing this rush of saliva. You've got this salivation happening, and it's tangy. Wow, this is so cool. There's so many layers to the whole experiment. Now my tongue is really salivating, and the entire tongue, and I'm tasting sour notes, like sour lemon. Amazing. When you first taste it, it doesn't have much of a distinctive flavor at all. It just tastes kind of like you're chewing on greens or grass. Not much of a particular flavor. Now, right now, I have this deep sensation of tangy sourness, like you've had too many Sour Patch Kids and your tongue's a little bit raw. But what's really cool is that I'm really salivating along with that sour sensation. It's so cool. And then simultaneously, you get this kind of mentholated feeling. So when you have like a Hall's mentholated cough drop and your tongue feels kind of like it's cool, it has that feeling too. But this has a really nice tingling sensation, like your tongue is just kind of buzzing. So buzz button, I think, is an absolutely appropriate name for this. It's a delightful sensation. It's in the middle of your tongue. It's like kind of like it's vibrating. Oh, it's so fun. And when you breathe in, you get that kind of mentholated effect. So cool. So it's kind of dissipating. It still feels like it's kind of electrified. I should also note that these do not have a very pleasant smell to them. They smell kind of funky. Yeah, funky and a little bit like mud. Kind of like when you walk by a swampy, muddy puddle. That's kind of what they smell like. Not very pleasant, but they don't taste like that at all. So cool. The first thing I'm going to try is some lemon. I'm going to take a little bite of lemon and see if that sensation is intensified, because that's what I've heard. All right, here we go. It is. But now the buzzing of the buzz button has definitely died down. It's very immediate and acute, and I'm going to taste another one because it's kind of just fading now. So I'm going to chew on another one of these and see what happens next. My mouth still feels mentholated and kind of cool, but it's not salivating and I don't have that sensation of sourness. It's so cool because when you initially taste it, it's not sour at all. It just tastes like grass. So let's go ahead and have another one and then taste the lemon, because just after about 30 seconds, it really starts to fade, the effects. Just kind of crunchy. It doesn't taste all that great. A little bit peppery. It tastes, the feeling sensation initially is very dry, like you're chewing on an old dry strawberry or something. And it all kind of crumbles in your mouth and falls apart. And then it infuses your tongue with this buzzy, 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 tingly sensation. It doesn't hurt, but it's new. It's probably something you haven't felt before. If you've eaten too much pineapple and your tongue feels kind of raw, it's kind of like that. But this is much more fun. It's more of a vibrating effect. Okay, now let's try the lemon. It actually makes the lemon taste a little bit sweeter. And now I'm getting that rush of that salivation and natural, I shouldn't say natural, but seemingly natural sour sensation. Like the sour is just coming out of my tongue. It's so interesting. So yes, it makes the lemon taste a little bit lemonier. Wow. It even goes to the roof of your mouth slightly, where you get this kind of a fuzzy, tingly, buzzy sensation. Alrighty, now I'm going to try a little bit of Sriracha. When I read articles about buzz buttons, it said it also intensifies garlic and chili. So Sriracha has both garlic and chili in it. So a little taste of that. So interesting. Again, it makes it taste sweeter. There's a little bit of vinegar in here. So initially you get this sweetness and the garlic is in there, and then you get the heat as well, which is compounded with this tingling sensation. That's super, super fun. And when you breathe in, it increases kind of that tingle. So neat. Okay, now let's try some cold ginger ale. Now, ginger is supposed to also be intensified by the buzz buttons, but this is also cool and effervescent. We've got carbonation. I'm curious to see what happens to the carbonation, or what does it feel like when your tongue is buzzing. So let's give that a go. Cheers. Again, it makes it taste sweeter. The buzzing effect is now starting to dissipate. It does make it taste a little bit more gingery, but I'm going to try another one of these and then try the ginger ale afterwards. So the buzzing effect seems to last about 2 minutes, where it's really, really intense. My mouth still feels numb a little bit, but not nearly as intensely as it did initially. Also, with each subsequent button, it seems to be dampened a bit as well. The first initial reaction, I think, was the most intense, also because this is the first time I ever had one of these. I think it was really, really, really new, but let's have another one. So interesting. At first, you just taste this kind of, it's not all that pleasant. It tastes a little bit like dirt. It tastes a little bit like, it's a little slightly bitter. And that very quickly fades. And then you get this sour flavor, just general sourness, and tons of salivation. Like your mouth just totally gets flooded with saliva. It sounds gross, but it's actually super fun. And then with the flooding, you get this sour flow. Amazing. Okay, now let's try the ginger ale. It definitely tastes sweeter, and I feel like I can taste the ginger a little bit better. These ginger ales aren't that gingery. They're not like ginger brews, which are really spicy and have that really strong ginger lemony flavor. For me, the ginger flavor in these ginger ales are quite light, but I feel like it is intensified. Ginger ale tastes sweeter, and then when you pause, you get this rush of sourness from the toothache plant. In terms of what the effervescence does, or the bubbles in the soda itself, it isn't really intensified. It sort of just echoes that general mouth tingle that you get from the toothache plant itself. So stinking cool. So that was the toothache plant, also known as the buzz button or the electric daisy. I'd say if you've never had one before, definitely try one out. It's a unique experience. I've had Sichuan peppercorn before, and it gives you a slight numbing sensation, but this is really, really acute in terms of the intensity of the numbing quality and just the general kind of buzzy electric tingle that it gives your tongue. And if you're not a fan of it, it quickly dissipates. Within 5 minutes, it really calms down and pretty much stops. But so stinking interesting. Alrighty, my lovelies, there you have it. Acamella olersa, the toothache plant, the buzz button. Absolutely delightful. If you ever get a chance to try one, I highly recommend it. It's very, very short term in terms of its effect, but absolutely delightful and a unique and singular experience. Alrighty, thanks so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care. Bye. No, when you want it to happen, it doesn't happen. Interesting. Oh.